Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud till there's no more left in that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud till there's nothing left in me. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. DC, that B4L, reppin' that star, I do it so well. It's Puma on the toes, but the stars on the clothes. I'm Starboy, fresh at the DF Dub. Yeah, I'm a hard hitter. Don't stare to fit, it'll ego hit you. What is you saying, man? Look at the swag. Please do forgive the brag. I'ma pull up later in the Cowboy Jag. Don't you slip on the drip, I'm flossing the sauce. Go so hard for the star. Yeah, that be win, lose, or draw. If you take a L, get the F off my block. Cowboys win. Rock Joes, pull up the shots. Really can't help it, got a star status. Even got it tatted on my arm. Yes, we be 5 ring strong. Left a little room cause it's quest for the six. Starboy really reppin' this shit. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud until there's no more left in that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud until there's nothing left in me. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys to the death for me.
Yeah, tell me who the number one fan. Yeah, Mr. Westside, I'm the man. Dallas Cowboys from my head to the toes. They better recognize who the fuck I am. Damn, haters run they mouth like a bitch when they team ain't shit and my team stay lit. Yeah, I'm about to rep this shit to the day I die in an all blue casket. If you wanna get with a club with love, tell Star Status Westside sent ya. Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Emmett Smith is our main. Game time, prime time, all the time. Your team ain't never on TV like mine. That's because we different. We America's team and we run this. Like Zeke runs circles right at defense. Jerry Jones, that's nonsense. Let the coaches coach. And I'll have a smoke. And I know y'all wanna toast to that.
Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud until there's no more left in that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. Dallas Cowboys to the death from that. I'ma keep ripping loud until there's nothing left in me. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys to the death for me. DC, that B4L. DC, that B4L. Reppin' that star, I do it so well. DC, that B4L.
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we live in the building, man. How are you guys doing on this mighty Monday, man? Boss Cowboy, man. Is you ready to get this thing popping, man? Is you ready to do this for real, man? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just another day to swim.
Shoot, I heard this. Oh, hey, man, we're gonna be swimming with the big fishes today, man.
That's right. We got
the
ultimate fish.
Hey, we with the fish. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, today make sure you guys stay tuned because today we are going to be having man, I think if you are a cowboy blogger, I think he is everybody's OG in the game. So we got Mike Fish coming on here in a little bit, and he's going to be talking a little DAC contract. He's going to also be talking a little LVE-ish and a little bit of anything else we can squeeze up out of him, if you know what I mean. Boss Cowboy, man, are we ready to get this thing popping, man?
Yeah, man. I'm really excited to talk to Mr. Mike Fisher, Super Mike Fisher, because, I consider him the Tyrion of the Dallas Cowboys, the hand of the king, the Illuminatus, the guy that's right next to the Game of Thrones. So when you get this close to a guy that's actually able to shake hands with ownership and we can get potential clues on what our 2020 season is going to be like, it's no better feeling for us to be able to expose this to the people that's listening to us right now. So let's get it. And make sure y'all share. Please share. This is a sharing show. Get your popcorn ready, kick your feet up, eat your steak, have your drink, and let's go.
Hey, and let's go, man. Hey, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are already in the star. My boy, my supporter, Mark Martinez with the 1,400 stars. I appreciate you. My boy, Travis. Hey, man, it's a big dog show, man. We trying to get to 10,000 stars. Let's do it, man. I know we got it in us. Let's do it, man. Mike Fish is going to give you guys some great information. Had to give him the double link. Why? Because, man, it was tripping for a minute. But, man, I appreciate y'all. But this is what we need you guys to do right now. No matter if your stars is working. And, hey, I want to let you guys know, my boy, If my boy Boss Cowboy stars did get approved, they just haven't showed up yet. So if you want to send him stars tonight, make sure you go over to Dallas Boss at Cash App. Hit that Dallas Boss at Cash App. But yo, man, more importantly, yo, we got 115 people in the house right now. I need at least everybody to give your boy West Coast one share. And I don't want you guys to just share this just like undirectional, because sometimes people will literally share my own show with me. That doesn't do anything me grateful. This is what I need you to do. You know that guy that's out there talking that, man, Dak Prescott is not gonna think that guy that needs that Dak information, share it with that person. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Share this show with that person that you're tired of arguing with in that chat group. Share this feed with them, because they are the ones who need it. This is why we bringing Fish on, because everybody else, we already kind of know this information. You know what I'm saying? But Fish is really about to just, you know how sometimes when God opened the opening, he said with his deep voice, it sounds like it's more important. I can't wait to get Fish on here, man. Why? Because Fish is going to really shed some light on what's really going on. Now, I need everybody to make one agreement, okay? And that is this. Whatever we get here, you're going to process it, because a lot of times we bring professionals on here, you know, other people who's really, really deep inside the crevices of the Cowboys, and we leave out of here and be like, now I know he's in the locker room, but I still feel like he's lost a lot. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? I'm preparing you guys right now. Fish is at some point, he's going to say something that may go against what you thought. Give yourself the chance to change your mind tonight. That's all we asking tonight. Give yourself the opportunity to change your mind tonight. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody that's rocking. Hey, I got a lot of people that's sharing it on your timeline. Remember, if you share this on your timeline, when you share it on your timeline, I want you to think about 5 Cowboy fans that you would think that needs to watch this. So when you share this on your timeline, before you share it in the little tag area, I want you to tag 5 Cowboys in that, 5 Cowboy friends in this post. Then I want you to hit that share button and send it out. Why? Because then those 5 people are going to be known that we on here talking about some Dak money, and this is probably something they need to tune into. You know what I'm saying? So let's get this. Let's really, really, really get this thing popping tonight. Boss Cowboy, man. I know you got some people over there on Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Let me see who you got.
Packed, man. I got my girl Tamara. I see her sometimes at 3 a.m. watching film. Much love. And LeJack, actually, from Dallas. I see my RDST brother, and Daisy Clark. I see you, Daisy. And Jeffrey Watson said, "What's good, boss?" And Leon said, "We good." Absolutely, we good. Joe Tricina, all the way from Italy. And Joe, you the reason why I call us an international show. It's not an exaggeration, because guess what? You in Italy, so internationally you watching us. So we got my boy Jaquez, and you know he go be in the building. rocking the thumbs up. So yeah, that's the people on my page sitting back. And thanks for the shirts. I already see the shirts, beautiful. So it's gonna be packed by the time he walk in the door. So y'all doing a great job. I love it.
Yeah, so man, I got my boy Manny. I appreciate you, my boy Manny over there. My boy Richard's out there saying sign Dak with 1,000 stars. I appreciate you, big dog. Manny says, let's get this show on the road, and I need some glory hole from West Coast. Hold up. I might be able to get you a little something. Hold up. It was kind of low. Let me.
I want me some glory.
Is that better? There you go.
Turn it up.
Yeah, I can't have it too high because they going crazy in the comments, and then some of my alerts gonna go up. I'm gonna have it up just loud enough for y'all to hear, and just low enough so when we break this film down later on, we don't hear it too loud. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I mean. But yo, man, I'm really, really excited though, man. Like I'm really excited about tonight, man. I'm really excited about the information that's gonna be brought. I'm really excited from I want to hear something, you know what I'm saying, that goes against what I thought. Why? Because then that gives me the opportunity to change my mind. And I'm down to change my mind tonight on something. Whether that be Dak Prescott's money, whatever LVE's money, you know what I'm saying, no matter who it is, you know what I'm saying, I am looking to change my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Ready. You just ready to lay down.
I'm just ready, man. I'm ready.
Good point. Because I was saying this the other day that sometimes you can do shows with people for so long that you actually start thinking like the people that's been around you so long. So when you bring in a guest that might think just a little bit different, that's a time for us to all be enlightened and kind of sharpen each other. I'm messing with you. That's a good point. Because I listen to different shows and sometimes people sound the same. So this is absolutely our chance to sit back and hear maybe a perspective that confirms what we think, or maybe we go hear some perspective that actually goes against what we think. But in the end of the day, the iron is going to sharpen the iron and we're going to all walk out better.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, man, we're at 2,000. We're at 2,300 stars. I appreciate you guys. Let's try to get to 10,000. Man, let's do the first goal of 3. So I appreciate everybody that supported, man. Miss Tony, Miss T, I appreciate you. Man, Bob Heck. Hey, my boy Bob just had a 4-month anniversary on the supporting, so I appreciate you, Bob. And my boy Bob won a Zeke hack that I just shipped out today. So appreciate you, big dog. My boy said, but he said, West Coast, I ain't never won something. I said, well, you won something last week. So shout out, Bob, and I appreciate you for your support, big dog. My shout out to my boy Manny. Shout out to my boy Manny. I see you in the comments. Man, let's see who else we over here, man. One thing else I like about this is all about timing also too, because with the thoughts of that NFL camps might be opening up this week, man, I'm very interested to get some perspectives, because I would think that perspectives by this point would have changed, you know what I'm saying, with the thought of, teams being able to, at some point open these camps up, man. So I'm definitely excited. Definitely excited, to get my boy Fisher on here. But Boss Cowboy, man, while we get him mocked up and while we get him, wait for him to get in here, man, what are your thoughts, man? Like, what have been your thoughts on this whole Dak Prescott situation and how it's been handled up to now? And I mean, I want to ask you, man. I'm gonna probably ask Fish if he hops on here at some point. I'm gonna ask him this, man. Do you think this is gonna create some type of deadline with with possible camps being open on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing that I've been thinking about is team morale. That's really been rolling through my head lately. Is the process of negotiating through the media is one of those things that is this really good for team morale, and does the Joneses even consider it? Because to me, it seems as if they don't consider team morale as a leadership and a management opportunity. Because I was thinking even today, when Bennett came into the locker room, and he was only 3 weeks into the locker room, and he had a major rant, and everybody remember he was loud to the point to where Jerry Jones, he came out and he was in tears, and he was just talking about the passion in the room. But when you looked at the details of the conversation, what was it about, West Coast?
Man, I'm sorry, I was
the distraction of money.
Oh yeah, distraction of money with Michael Bennett. Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, it was the distraction of money. So money, maybe not even with Dak Prescott, but money just with all the contracts that was in the air and the public media and the locker room is I want all of this to be over with, mainly so that the morale and the distraction of money can be behind us and that the team can focus on trying to win 6. And I think Dak is almost the last domino to fall. And if he falls, then that means we can just focus on football. So I might not get a chance to talk to Fisher about that. And I don't even know if he would know that. That's more of a question for the Joneses themselves. But at the same time, that's what's been rolling through my mind since you asked that question.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's like, man, I'm just, he said, hold up. Give me a second real quick. Go ahead. Hey, Boss Cowboy, go ahead and finish that thought for me so I can get in, so I can help him out real quick.
Yeah, man. So Dak Prescott, and it's a money thing as well. So like when you think about this whole drama with Dak Prescott has pretty much been the person that's been getting us all through COVID. Because if it wasn't for the drama and the contract drama of Dak Prescott, what other major news is in sports? There's no major news in sports. So this is one of those things to where even though I hate how much this is holding out, this still this, I would call it the Kardashian style drama that's created from the way that we negotiate through the media. And I'm not saying that as if it's bad, because it's profitable. And anybody that looks at Kim Kardashian or the Kardashian family, and if you call them a failure, you're not looking at them right. So, but at the same time, it's keeping us talking about sports. So, but at the same time, like West Coast said, if they're getting ready to start going into the buildings on Friday, and their guys are starting to really start focusing on football, by the time they all check into the locker rooms, I would feel great if now this is over. So, I mean, if y'all got any questions, because obviously West Coast is getting Mike Fisher going. And so while y'all doing that, I answer and address a few questions. Donna said Dez was live. He was pretty much saying he will be back. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, back, I guess, in the NFL, I'm pretty sure, because Dez is the type that like to put his business out there through social media. To me, that would mean more than likely, Donna, that, Dez is, his phone is ringing, and Dez is the type that to get off the phone excited and go right to social media, because he loves to engage the fans and let everybody know that. I don't think it's going to be with us. I would hope it would be with us. I would feel great if it was with us, but he's going to likely get his chance in the NFL, and he sounds like he's excited about that. You back, Wes?
Yeah, I'm going. I'm here with you. I'm just trying to get some things,
get him set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead. But I mean, this is my thoughts on Dez Bryant, man. Man, if I'm Dez, man, it's like, you gotta give somebody else some other opportunities, man. You just can't keep on just playing yourself to the Dallas Cowboys, bro. Like, it's gotta just like, bro, like, man, like, I love y'all, but y'all don't love me the way I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you don't love me the way I love you, then like, what am I supposed to do, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, and you're gonna want me to take less money, and you're gonna want me to change my number. Like, did I really mess up that bad? Like, I don't think I really messed up that bad for y'all to be doing all this. Like, this is a bit too much. You know what I'm saying? So, at this point, man, I'm like, Dez, man, like, why wouldn't you just, like, I mean, if I'm Dez, man, I'm probably thinking like, bro, I love the Dallas Cowboys. I absolutely love the Cowboys. But at the same time, I'm not going to keep on just like throwing myself to the wolves, because it's like, at some point, it's like, when does that affect, the dog that I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already showed you guys that I can humble myself. Like, I shouldn't have to continue to do more. You know what I'm saying? So, if he comes back to the Cowboys, like, man, I'm gonna be excited for it, man. I had it all in my picture bio and everything. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, I think that, like, Dez can still be successful, and Dez can still prove a ton of people wrong by just having a successful career. Like, that's all it's about now. You know what I'm saying? Is ending it with a successful career.
Yeah. And he's likely going to end up with a contender, because if I'm him, that's what I'm trying to do at this stage of his career. I'm trying to go to Kansas City. I'm trying to go to New Orleans again. I'm trying to get at a second chance. I'm trying to go back to the Ravens. They was willing to pay you a lot of money for 3 years. They should get, right now he's going to be at a much greater discount. So it's one of those things to where go to a contender, Dez. I mean, it worked out for DeMarcus Ware. And look what DeMarcus Ware did. He went out to Denver, helped them really get over the hump and the curve, and got that ring. And guess what? He's back with Dallas as a family member, and still loved, to the point Jerry Jones even gave him a shout out as Hall of Fame. So at this point, I mean, Dez he's already rocked enough, and he's still the franchise lead in touchdowns. He's going to be considered a Dallas Cowboy forever. Just finished playing football, to your point, West Coast, to where you're going to go out really well, and he's going to come right back to Dallas and be known as a guy that's, had his best years in Dallas. Yeah,
man. So, because I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like at some point it's just like you're, it's like, yeah, you just got to do. I feel like you take that same energy and put it towards something else now. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I feel like even like when you sign with a team, you're doing it, for security. And I just feel like, even if it does happen, if another opportunity, they're just gonna cut you and go do something else. Not saying that they won't do it with some, with another player, but I just feel like the Cowboys, you're in a situation, you don't ever want to be in a situation where somebody where you overvalue someone more than they value yourself. Like that's a super duper situation to get yourself taken advantage of. Like for real. Like and even at work, in a job situation, and even in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not a like you could 100% tell it's not going to be a an applicable relationship because it's like they still feel like they still got to humble Dez, and I feel like Dez might have we can agree or disagree on whatever we say about Dez, but man, he didn't do nothing for them to continue to keep taking little shots at him. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, Dez, you just got to be like, man, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's my question with we was working with Fish. He was having some technical difficulties. We was trying to get him on right now. We're gonna see if he's. I sent him a new link, so we're gonna see if he's able to click that link and get up in here. If we're able to, praise God. If not, we'll get him on here, but we'll get him on at another time. But I am currently working with him right now in his inbox, trying to get Fish on here. So as soon as I see this alert come up on my screen, I'll get him in the screen. If not, you guys already know we have a whole bunch of days in between now.
And listen, y'all. The same thing happened with James Slater. The exact same thing where we were just rocking, and then 30 minutes later she popped in and the show went a whole nother hour and a half because she came in with so much content. So actually what happened the last time is when we start speaking like this, like, and we might have to bring her back, and then a lot of people jumped off. And then found out the next day that the show went on an hour and a half on just quality information that just came out of James Slater. So because he's having a little bit of technical difficulty does not mean to jump off. Act like you're at a concert. And what do you do at the concert? You just wait for the main guy to come out, and you just continue to endure, the commentary and the pre-shows until the main attraction comes out. So just be patient. And then also, man, we got a lot of people on. Shoot, good time to share again. Right now, if you already shared, you don't want to bug your groups and your family, but it's a lot of people that just got on. So I would say all the people that just got on, share this because we're getting ready to talk to him about some good stuff. LVE, we will go deep into his neck and different stuff and his health. We're going to talk about, I don't want to give away everything, but we got some good topics that we're going to throw at him and get his perspective on. So y'all just sit put.
Yes, sir. And hey, I want to give my boys some glory hole real quick. Let me give you some glory hole. Blue, blue.
I want me some glory hole. I want me some glory hole.
There you go. I had to turn him up just a little bit. Man,
West Coast.
What's up with you, man?
My boy Craig said this, and he's out of Houston. He's a Texan fan, but he's showing love to the page today. He's actually a friend of mine too. He said Dez should have signed with the Ravens. I don't think he'll get another shot. What's your thoughts?
I think Dez is gonna get another shot. I think Dez probably already had shops. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you guys got to remember, it's not about how you view Dez. It's about how these DBs view Dez. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have to stand in front of Dez. You know what I'm saying? But if Dez still has an ability, if Dez still has the ability to really get onto these cornerbacks, then I think any team is still going to be more than willing to give him an opportunity. It's going to give him more than an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't see, if you'd have to tell me you'd have to tell me for more than anything, why he would not be able on a team versus, I don't think he's just going to be able to get on a team.
Yeah, especially with he coming out today, when the fact that Dez, because Dez likes to put out there any kind of good news, he's going to likely put it out there. His phone is ringing, and he's also said many times that there are teams that are showing interest. I think he might end up with a major contender. Like, it's people that's going to need, especially in the modern NFL. If you look at the draft said one thing to me in one keynote, that it's going to be a lot of offense next year. And teams, and it's why. And you got to ask yourself, why is it going to be so much offense? It's because teams are watching Kansas City, and the narrative that defense win championships went out the window when they came back on San Fran and the Houston Texans. They was down 24-0 and came all the way back and kept their foot on the gas. So coaches watched that and said, I don't want to trust the defense to stop that. So in a league that's looking to score, that to me, that means it's a market for Dez.
Yeah. And just go ahead and continue that, Mike. I'm trying to get him.
Yeah, so it's a market for Dez. So, and I mean, just look what Denver did, right? They went out and they grabbed what's my boy from Alabama? God dog it. Man, I can't remember his name. It's been so long since the draft, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know they went ahead and grabbed. I know they drafted the wide receiver out of SMU a couple years. You know what I'm saying? And they just been
So they got Sutton. They have Fred Brown. They also have. They still have Hamilton out of Penn State. They also just grabbed KJ out of Penn State, and for some reason I can't remember the first round. Jerry Jeudy. So they are super loaded. Like I actually talked to Fred Brown, one of the receivers, last week, and we literally had a long discussions on Denver, basically saying that we're going to outpace Kansas City. And he said, man, that's our exact strategy. He said, that's our strategy. We're looking to outscore Kansas City. We're not going in there like our defense going to win this. We going in there with a shootout mentality. And that's exactly what a lot of teams are doing. A lot of teams are going into the season saying we getting ready to go crazy, where we used to, say we're going to win it through the running game and good defense. Teams are saying we're going Arsenal. We're looking to outscore you. And the same thing when you look at the Rams from a couple of years ago. Like, it's a lot of teams that's developing an appetite to beat you through the air even more. Like, it's something about when you see great teams just beat you with so much offense. And even the Houston Texans, like, even though they got rid of Hopkins, they doubled down and did what? They got a speedy guy in Cook, because they like, look, we got rid of a guy, but we can't go in here with just a weak committee. We're going to have to add us a guy, even though he might have injury question marks. We know that he has flying speed and jet speed and good route running, because they know if you go up against Kansas City or you go up against one of these high-powered teams, you're going to be having to ready to just put some points up there. That's the modern NFL right now. And Kansas City ain't going nowhere. Most of their whole roster is coming back. So now you're looking at a team, the previous Super Bowl winners, and you're saying to yourself, all of these guys going to be back, and most of them going to be going into year 3, meaning they're going to have even more experience. So, like, right now, I mean, look at Dallas. Like, Dallas with CeeDee Lamb. Like, they couldn't pass up CeeDee Lamb. They couldn't. Like, he's sitting right there. Maybe the former Dallas would have said, yeah, the prudent thing would be to go linebacker here, because it seemed like that's what we need. But no, they was like, no, this is a chance for us to get into the high octane modern NFL of outscoring people. So Dallas stepped up to the plate on that as well. So it's just going to continue. I mean, but obviously we was saying this because of Dez. So, I mean, you my boy all day, Craig, all day. Much love for you, man. You one of the realest guys out of H-Town that I ever met. But I think Dez go get a job, man.
For sure.
I just
for
think
sure. For sure. Dez is going to get a job. What's up with you landing with the 500 stars? Hey, man, Dez is going to get a job off the fact that Dez sells jerseys. Like not even on some just like, oh, yeah, he can get in there and he can bowl with the best. Man, Dez going to get a job because, man, at the end of the day, there's going to be a team out there that's going to look at Dez and be like, you know what? He's probably better than our second receiver, and he can sell some jerseys. That means he's going to sell something that we're not selling. What? Jerseys. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, Dez is going to get a job. He's ridiculously marketable. And if you look at it, he showed you social media wise that he can be ridiculously marketable. You know what I'm saying? He's the only person I know to get a Super Bowl champion and another guy trying to get paid to go out there and throw some footballs with him. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Dez, you're a free agent. What can you offer either one of them guys in publicity? Pretty much nothing. But he was able to get them guys out there to get out there and do it. True. You know what I'm saying? And let's just and Dez is honestly, y'all, like, appreciate you, Miss Rose, for the 250 stars. Dez is one of those dudes also. Dez is one of those dudes. Okay. Dez is one of those dudes where literally he can his starism is quintessential. Like, it's all over the NFL. You know So it's like he definitely has the opportunity, I'm saying, for him to branch out, and because there's people all over the NFL that love Des Bryant. Hey, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get him up on his camera's not working, so I need like 2 seconds to get him up on the hotline, and then we're gonna take him from there, and we're gonna get this thing popping.
Yeah,
but
I'll carry it while you're
Go
doing
ahead,
that.
boss.
It's a good question in here that I want to address anyway. Matt DuPont asks a real good question, and we getting ready to get fishing here, a little bit of technical difficulties, but we go get through it. But check this out. I like your question, Matt. Matt said, why do y'all think so many big name free agents still haven't signed yet? I'm going to be honest with you. It's the COVID-19. The COVID-19 has slowed down this whole offseason. And it's also the same reason why it's so many sleepers like Luther Kurt that end up being undrafted free agents, because when the COVID hit America so hard, it actually hurt a lot of pro days. And the pro days are sometimes your last chance to check boxes. And if you're a scout and your job is on the line, you're not going to bet on a guy just on intuition and film. You're going to sometimes need some data to put the final sale on a person. So from that standpoint, that's exactly why you're seeing so many free agents, because teams was having trouble flying people in, giving them their workouts, because you can't check these guys. Some of these guys have medical issues. You can't get your doctors to these guys because guess what? Most people wasn't flying, right? So it's a lot of good deals sitting out there, more so because the market itself can't fully evaluate some of these free agents. So it really doesn't have anything to do with talent. It's more so just that we're in a pandemic, and the pandemic itself is stifling football and the normal processes and off-season processes of football. So it's no smoking gun or nothing that's like to worry about. As soon as they start ramping it back up and you start seeing people able to fly again and check again, you're gonna start seeing these people fall off like pretty quickly. As soon as they get to where they can check these guys and check them out physically and make sure that they've been working out under this COVID situation and that they're still in shape, you're going to see a lot of people drop pretty quickly. And I say within the next month, because America itself, the trajectory of COVID-19 is finally the curve is starting to go down. And the more the curve and the infection curve goes down, the more you're going to see America itself begin to open up. And the more you see us open up, the more signage you're going to see.
Yeah, man. And that's an amazing point. I mean, that's part of the reason why we were saying that the draft was going to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Simply because of, things that normally were supposed to be normal weren't going to be normal. You know what I'm saying?
It just wasn't normal.
It just was not normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so I mean, it just made it for me, like, it just makes you just kind of like sit back and just kind of like, appreciate some normalcy, appreciate, how things were last year, because, to keep it real, like, that is now the past. Like, that is the past now. Like, there is no new normal. Like, there is always going to be an adaptation because of the social distance. So it's like the way how things were we're all like, the way that, like, things were all close together, like, it's gonna be different, man. So you're gonna see that thing going forward. Like, do you see like them inviting less people to combines? Do you see less Senior Bowl games? You're gonna see some different things, because of this. So it's like you saw it already, and it's like you're gonna see the repercussions because of it. So it's like there's no way that that you're not gonna say that this isn't gonna have some type of effect. So I mean, that's why I felt when Jane came on the show and Jane was like, "Yo, West Coast, like, honestly, the teams that are gonna fare the best are the teams that don't make the most changes." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the New Orleans Saints and the Seattles and like those teams that already got the system already set and fair, where all they're going to be doing is telling them, hey, like, they don't have to like they don't really got to get used to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Point,
because,
man.
So it's like those are
anything new. Right.
Exactly. So that's why the other day I was like, man, it's actually kind of perfect. It's actually probably a good thing. It's actually probably a good thing that hold on.
Let me take this question while you're dealing with Fish real quick. Cody Neff said this, and another good question. And this is going to be a little controversial, but I'm going to answer this, Cody. My boy Cody said, "Boss, if we don't sign Dak, who does?" my
Indianapolis Colts
my
already
top
said they
guess will be the Colts.
Yeah,
I
they
think
already
the
said they
Colts
would.
get him so fast. If we go sign Dak, but if for some reason we super fumbled and did not sign Dak, the Colts will sign Dak, in my opinion, the very next morning. And another candidate that I think will sign Dak immediately, and I'm serious about this, New England.
Shoot, man. It almost feels like they're sitting out there waiting for some, like, you can just imagine. I can just tell, like, Belichick is just sitting out there like, I'm just waiting for you guys to mess this up.
Oh, no doubt. And see, the Colts, to me, is a perfect fit for Dak because they have a great offensive line. They're fully retooled on the offensive line. They just put a guy behind them in Taylor who ran for 6,000 yards in 3 years at Wisconsin. They added, to me, my top sleeper receiver, right? So, and they still have all the other weapons, and they still have a very young, talented defense. They are truly a quarterback away from being major contenders again. Because remember, before Luck retired, how they did the Texans, right? They put a major stumping on them, and they was 2 games from the Super Bowl, and the Texans was a good team. They was a little bit beat up. That game. I'm not going to just act like Watson had all his weapons because he didn't. But at the same time, I mean, Andrew Luck, had amazing protection. It's like he could have went to sleep in the pocket. So absolutely the Colts. I think the Colts is still a scary team. I just don't think that they had a quarterback to be real contenders. I still give the Texans favors in winning that division all over again, even over the Titans right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something. I think that, like, people also forget about Dak, man. Is like when Dak, man. Let me get him up in here.
Yeah, and I'll take it, man. While you dealing with him,
Mike Fisher.
To accept.
Hey, y'all want to accept that call? Yeah or nay?
Take the call.
Hello.
Mike Fisher calling.
How you doing today? This is West Coast.
Well, yeah. Now, usually when I'm having technological difficulties, which I can hear a little weird echo, but we'll deal with it. It's usually me, but this time, finally, it was somebody besides me.
We'll take that lump on the chest as we'll say that we're the
blame on that fish.
We'll be the residential old guy on the phone with the technical difficulties.
There you go.
Okay, how you doing this afternoon? I mean, I'm out here in California. My co-host Boss Cowboy, he's centralized out there in Dallas, so we kind of like in the midst of both. But let's talk a little football if you don't mind, man, because I know your time is very precious. Let's talk a little football if you don't mind. So
you know how it works. Let me start with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tonight, LeBron James is doing his show. What is it? Is it unbroken, uninterrupted, whatever it is? And he mentions that in 2011, when the NBA was in the lockout, that he started working out like a football player, and that Jerry Jones sent him a contract. Have you seen this story?
I've been seeing the memes going around and with LeBron James all mocked up. I could definitely see him as a something that everybody sees him on the offensive side of the ball, but I'm sorry, Fish. I would have loved to see. I mean, a little bit more weight. Could you imagine him rushing the passer? Like,
okay, but then, I mean, why waste his hands? He's got the big, he's got basketball hands. He's got the biggest hands you've ever seen. Have you ever seen him throw a football?
I seen him against in that Kevin Durant they did like a flag football league. It was like Kevin Durant versus Team LeBron.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was kind of old, and man, I
remember that.
He was making plays.
So obviously, if you can grab an NFL football the way you and I grab a Nerf football, then you can sling it. So no, I want LeBron's hands on offense, and I've been skeptical about this when this subject comes up because, it's so different. I mean, there's a reason guys don't play football, and the reason is because you get your ass kicked. But LeBron James, you go back, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. LeBron James in the state of Ohio, and they know how to play football in Ohio. He was all state as a sophomore at 6'5", 230, and then was all state again as a junior. By which time Penn State and Ohio State and everybody else was trying to recruit him to play both sports, Notre Dame and all of it. So I'm working. I put in my story on CowboysFSI.com tonight, but I assume that Jerry Jones' contract offer to LeBron was fanciful. That's the word I used. Fanciful. Meaning, he's not really going to leave the NBA to come play for the Cowboys, which happens to be his favorite team. But I don't think it's I don't think had he chosen football, I don't think it's as stupid as some people think that he could go out there and be. I mean, he'd be better than Jimmy Graham, right?
Yeah. I mean, and
he's 2 inches taller than Jimmy Graham, and infinitely better athlete than Jimmy Graham. So, like some of his coaches used to compare him to Randy Moss. Now that's too much.
Yeah, way too much.
Way too much.
I mean, Randy Moss could return punts in the NFL.
Right.
LeBron James isn't returning punts. He doesn't move like that. But LeBron James right now is, what is he, 6'9", 250?
Yeah.
For him to put on 10 pounds and be a tight end, or if he wanted to, take off 10 pounds and go be Harold Carmichael or be Jimmy Graham or something like that. I don't think it's stupid, and I think it's really fun to think about.
Shoot, I mean, I think LeBron is one of those top 1% athletes that it's like, I feel like anything sports that he would have put himself involved in, that he would have probably been like the top of his game. Like he's, I missed the, I mean, obviously I'm not old enough to miss it, but, I've seen, on YouTube and things like this, where they would take these elite athletes in the off season and they would race them against horses and trains and all types of stuff. And these elite athletes would still, they would still, the Carl Lewis's and all them dudes, they would still, get out there and, make it at least enjoyable to watch, So, I mean, LeBron is definitely something that, I would not put, LeBron and D-Law are two people I wouldn't put anything past them. You know what I'm saying? I think they pretty much do anything.
Yeah, LeBron would either be.
Like the example of how we might go too far is Michael Jordan, who, of course, we got in our face now with The Last Dance. The idea being that because he went and played baseball.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
At AA level, he survived it. Makes people think, well, he could have done anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that on one level, you're like, you know what? Given his level of intensity and commitment, that had he decided, you know what, I'm going to be an accountant. Maybe he would have been the best accountant in the world. It's possible, but I think there's such mythology attached to Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
we're talking about what he might have done. I don't. Michael Jordan wasn't really good in baseball. I mean, he was just a guy in AA, which is more than you and me.
Right.
LeBron James was a superstar high school football player. So, Michael kind of did it, but LeBron James really did do it in a sport, by the way, where you get beat up, which doesn't happen in baseball. And I bet you Michael Jordan and with the Birmingham Barons, I bet you the pitcher didn't even throw inside at him. He was so scared of him.
I mean, out of respect. But I'm gonna tell you, Fish, one thing I do like about LeBron, and you said it. You said this. LeBron being a Cowboy fan, and LeBron over this past week, he's very political with his things that he does. But LeBron has been very open about his support for Dak Prescott. So it's like, I kind of got like a twofold question, because Fish, you own your eighth head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Your resume is looking kind of crazy right now. You own your eighth head coach right now. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, does the star really even? I mean, and I'm a Cowboy fan through and through, but I want to know, when money is on the table, does the star really have that shine to make people take less money and move them to? Because I know in the 80s and I know in the 90s it had it, especially in the 90s. But I mean, really, in 2020, does Jerry really still have that power to be like, yo, there's so much in becoming a Cowboy versus you doing this somewhere else? Do you still think he still can kind of just have that coin to play?
Well, here's where it gets complicated with Dak. because the Cowboys, Jerry and Steven absolutely are trying to play that card. Okay, but if you're Dak, aren't you going, okay, I get it. I need my $35 million and I need my $106, and I'm going to do Campbell Soup commercials. Why would I sacrifice? Why should I give you $1 million back because I'm doing a Campbell Soup commercial? Why can't I have both? And the answer, of course, is he can. At some point, there's going to be a compromise, but you're talking specifically about Dak. But don't you think Gerald McCoy took less to be here?
Yeah.
Because he did. He took less to be here. Why did Alden Smith come here? And for no money? Why did Andy Dalton come here and for no money? So the Cowboys attraction, the Texas football base, all that. Yeah, I in fact I think the Cowboys don't exploit it enough. Given the fact that kids of my generation and of your generation and of this generation grow up more than any have seen in the NFL. As a Cowboy fan, the Cowboys should be able to take even more advantage of being America's team than they do in terms of personnel. In a way, it's almost a disappointment that they haven't done it better.
Wow.
Yeah, and Mike, I always say on this show, and I want to get your take on this. What if Dak doesn't want to be an entrepreneur? Because like Jordan Lewis came out and he said that he doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. He want to work with kids when he's done playing football. So if you are the type of Dallas athlete that doesn't want to be the Emmitt Smith to go into commercial real estate, or the Woodson where you can really partner with the Joneses and you can have a wonderful life after football. You want to, do the Novacek thing and go fishing and disappear. Would that really be of value to give a discount then?
Okay, but has Jay Novacek really disappeared? I'm friends with Jay Novacek. Has he really disappeared?
Just using him as an example, I don't really know, but I'm just saying that certain people, pedigree-wise, they don't really want to do anything after football. What if a player is wired that way? Would that pitch
ride off in the sunset? They just want to
if they want to ride off in the sunset, would that pitch appeal to them?
You're going to have to help me with that list, because George Teague is a high school football coach and athletic director at I think it's a TAP school, John Paul II. It's not a big school. It's not a famous school. He doesn't make $1 billion, but didn't George Teague, and I love George Teague.
Right.
George Teague get that job because he played for the Cowboys?
Official, unofficial?
I'm not sure.
In addition to whatever other skill he has. So what I'm saying is, being you could say, oh, I don't need the starlight, I don't need the spotlight, but when you go into a bar and you don't have to pay for a beer because you played for the Cowboys, you that still counts for something, and you still go ahead and take the free beer, Jay.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, you do.
Drink up, chug it down.
Well, I mean, my thing is this: with thoughts of, I feel like Friday things are gonna. Well, the word normal just doesn't exist anymore, because even when things are normal, they won't be normal. The normality of what we thought it was is gone. But I mean, Friday, it looks like they're going to try to at least make a step in that direction of trying to get things back on track. And it feels like, things are going to be able, some camps are going to be able to open. My question is for people does that create some type of do you think that creates some type of not like an artificial deadline to try to get things done? Because I feel there's one thing to hold out with a running back, but I just feel like your quarterback not being there is like a totally different thing. And I understand where Zeke is, but I just feel like the quarterback position is just one notch above that, where it's it's going to make a bigger a deal. But I just want to know, what do you think that's going to or do you think that's going to create an artificial deadline to get these types of things done come Friday?
I think there's two really good arguments here. One of them, and you kind of touched on both of them. One of them is, you guys may realize this, there's 14 franchise tag guys in the NFL right now. The safety for Minnesota just signed his tender. But before he signed that, not only were all 14 unsigned, but 8 of them hadn't signed their tender. So that should cause us to be a little less panicky But no, none of the franchise tag guys are signed. But on the other hand, quarterback's different from the Vikings safety. Quarterback's different from the Chiefs defensive tackle. And so I agree with you there. The fact that they haven't been in the building has eliminated the deadline. And I think I've seen some people write that it's opposite of that, and they're just wrong. If Dak's not missing a practice. There's nobody in the locker room talking about, oh no, Dak's not here. There's nobody looking over at Dak's locker saying, when's he going to get here? Or come on, Jerry and Steven. Or come on, Dak. Dad's in here. Because there is no in here. And I've jokingly said, the Cowboys players with the coaches, let's say they do a Zoom meeting, okay, with 90 players on it, like the Brady Bunch, right? We tried to do tonight and didn't.
we leaving that in the past, Fish. That was Jason Garrett there. We leaving that in the past.
So what? Yeah, that's right. So are the other 89 players looking around in the Brady Bunch Zoom meeting to see that Dak is or isn't there? No. So, but if he was physically absent, that would matter. So the Cowboys and Dak have bought some time here, really. The deadline. There hasn't been a deadline to make a deal.
Yeah.
Because his lack of presence hasn't been felt.
Yes, because my question is this: is like, how do you hold out from something if it's nothing there? Like you can't.
Right.
Like I almost feel like a little bit of. I'm not saying a little bit of his leverage was taken by the corona, but a little bit of it was, because it's like it's hard to hold out from eating chicken.
Yeah, you couldn't have the public
refrigerator.
You couldn't have the public, outcry of what's going on in the news media and everybody. Dak didn't show up and all of that just disappeared because of the COVID-19.
And boss, I remember there was a report. I think it was Zach Martin when they said, I think it might have been you, Fish, when they was like, you reported it was like, it was different not seeing his car there, like in his parking spot. And it's like, like something like, and I'm gonna tell you, that is something very, very small and minute. But I think he got signed in 2016, and I remember that to this day. Like I remember how big that was, because it was small, but it was big enough for you to report on. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that, that was crazy. That was.
And now there's an absence of a problem because they're not physically there. And of course we have to be careful to note, I always am anyway, he's not a holdout. He's just withholding his services because he doesn't have a contract. So he's not holding out any more than the Cowboys are holding out. But don't you guys think he's talking to coaches? I do. You think he's talking to quarterbacks and receivers and Zeke? I do. Do you think he's got his iPad playbook on his lap right now looking at it? I do. So even though he's not physically there because nobody is, I don't believe that Dak Prescott has decided to mentally check out. I just don't believe it. And so that's good news for the Cowboys.
Fish, I was listening to The Fan last week, and you raised a hell of a point, because Steven came out and he said there's all sorts of analytics out there that show if your quarterback takes up too big a percentage of your salary cap, that it decreases your chances of winning. And you start talking about, I want you to elaborate on that, but you kind of made a good point that, I'm putting up the percentages of the caps by the quarterbacks right now, just what all of them was enumerated. But you raised the point that it's pretty much at the 35 million, even though we know that number is really kind of not the power number. It's the really guarantee and the fully guaranteed, but just playing with the 35 million. That 35 million right now, based on what you tweeted, is already around 17%, which is pretty high. I wanted you to elaborate on that just a little bit more.
Okay. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I talked to Steven about this. And I did the story this morning, Monday morning, with Steven Jones on CowboysSI.com. So I think the magic number is 13.1%. And the reason is because Steve Young is the only quarterback to ever make 13.1 and win the Super Bowl. Everybody else who's made that much or more didn't win the Super Bowl. A lot of them went to the NFC Championship game or won 10 games, but unfairly, that's not being counted. You know, Peyton Manning in 2009 made 17% of the Colts cap.
Yeah.
They went to the Super Bowl and lost. So are you telling me that they blew it because they gave him too much money? That's stupid.
Right.
You know, when Steven talks about this magical formula, I think he's talking about 13.1%. But number one, that's to win the Super Bowl. Let's get the Cowboys to win 10 games.
I ain't trying to hear that, Fish. You know, come on, Fish.
Okay. And number two, I mean, obviously, it stands to reason. Okay, let's look at it like it's a piece of pie, right? Which Steven and Jerry like to do. Obviously, between the three of us, okay, if instead of each of us taking 33% of the piece of pie, if I take 50, obviously that leaves less for you guys.
Yeah.
But I disagree with Steven. I told him so. There is no magic number that means that we can't, the three of us can't enjoy the pie. That it's got to be 33.3, or else we're all going to commit suicide.
Right.
Not.
Yeah.
You get me 10 games, and then let me get healthy and lucky, and I'll win the Super Bowl with my quarterback making. I don't care if my quarterback's making 20%. And here's the example I use. Drew Brees in New Orleans has been, quote, overpaid against the cap multiple times.
Yeah.
Played there for, 15 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's made 13 Pro Bowls. They're in the playoffs every year. They win 11 games all the time. And he could get elected governor of Louisiana for all he's done for that community. You sure you don't want him?
That's a good point.
Drew Brees at 15% of the cap, 12%, 17%. I don't care. You give me Drew Brees, and he eats up a little bit more pie, the New Orleans Saints wouldn't trade Drew Brees for some fucking. Excuse me.
All good. I give you a little glory hole.
Okay. Hey. No censorship here. You're fine.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Fish.
The New Orleans Saints for the last 15 years want Drew Brees, or do you think they want a percentage point?
They want
you choose.
They want Drew Brees. Right.
Well, I mean, if I try to be real yin and yangish on this show, where we kind of look at it from because I mean,
angles.
You know, people like to they'll look at it, you know, management, and to be like, well, the management is wrong. But unless you get into the management's, you know, their feet, you know, you can't really, you got to look at it from their angle too. They're trying to win, and Dak is trying to win too. But I mean, if I'm trying to get a deal done by Friday, right? Because I'm speaking from the angle that's not even getting lumped in. That's the angle of the fans, because we just want this done. Is it, you know, with all the numbers that have been put out there, I feel like I don't feel like all this is over 35 million or 30 million, because I feel like if that was the case, we would still be stuck at like 28. Like if it was really about the average per year, we'd be stuck at like some low number. They would have never moved on the number, but they keep going up. So that lets me know that it's not really the average per year. And
Right.
then I look at the total. The total, you know, that's no big deal, because that's just multiplying all the years together. So that's going to fluctuate either way.
Exactly.
The years 4 or 5
big.
years, 4 or 5 years, that is big. But at the same time, you know, I'm on a 4-year contract now. You know what I'm saying? What I feel like the issue that Dak is having, or like the disconnect with my team, is with this guaranteed money. And the reason why I believe it is because if you look at Carson Wentz's contract, Carson Wentz is the offer that you tweeted out is exactly $1 million less in guaranteed money. And I'm thinking, like, why won't the Cowboys just drop Dak's guaranteed right in between Carson Wentz and Jared Goff and get this thing done? I'm just saying, try to get this thing done. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I do. Okay. I think what you just said is very doable. But now go back to the 4 versus 5 years. Okay? The salary cap after 2022 is going to go through the roof.
Exactly.
I want to be a free agent as soon as I can after 2022. That's what this is about. The Cowboys want, and some people are looking at my numbers that I've reported and they're going, well, listen, that's only another $35 million, but no, it's contractual control. It's I get to keep Dak Prescott for a 5th year when some quarterbacks might by that time be making $60 million.
Say it again.
$35 million APY. That's why the 5th year versus the 4th year matters.
That's why I said it's
Not
big.
just a year. It's about the money it's about what they're going to have to pay Dak in year 5 if they only sign him for 4 years. So that number might be $60 million. So now we're looking at a massive difference, and it's contractual control.
Man, Fish. Preach
Go
it.
ahead, Doc.
You need that organ for Fish right now. I mean, golly, I mean, he just took my whole brain with that one. I mean, just anyway. Because I was thinking, Fish, that the number that Steven said in terms of the analytics show, I think Steven is telling the truth. I think because it's true. Like but I think it also applies to every position, right? If you same thing with Von Miller.
Go ahead.
No, it is true. 13.1% is true. No quarterback except Steve Young has ever won a Super Bowl making more than 13.1%.
I think I found one, Fish. I think I might be wrong on this, but I think I did my research yesterday. I think I found one. Peyton Manning in 2004 was the year you said he received 17.9%. No, it's 17.59%. But he didn't win the Super Bowl against the Bears till February 2007. I think he's the only one with a market-setting contract that won a Super Bowl. Okay. But I still think Steven is true. I think Steven is true what he's saying, because I looked at all the other quarterbacks, and you're right. They're usually coming to around 13% when they won it. I think the anomaly is Peyton Manning. But at the same time, the averages show that, based on your point, the 13% is almost like the magic number where it seemed to have happened to your point of 13%. And I looked at 13%. Yeah. And I looked at 13%.
You're trying to replicate it.
It's almost like they're trying to replicate
it.
But then at the same time, I looked at 13%, and I just did the math real quick of the total cap of 198.2, and that's $25 million. So it's
right. And so that's preposterous.
Right.
Unless I sign him to a 5-year deal and then I spread it all out. The other thing that I made the point to Steven on is, let's say you think the magic number is 13%. Your $35 million APY offer to him is 17% or 15%, or something like whatever it is. And your 31, the franchise tag 31.409. It's 15 to 17% what you already offered him.
Right.
Exactly.
So you're telling me that the Cowboys will not go to the Super Bowl if you offer him above 13. You just offered him 15. Well, therefore the Cowboys aren't going to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So if you really believe that logic, and I'm trying to talk you guys out of believing it,
should have drafted a quarterback.
Then,
thank you, Fish. Thank you.
Yeah.
You should have just drafted a quarterback.
So again, so let's do this again. Let me do this again. The numbers prove that if you pay above 13% of the cap to a quarterback, you will not win the Super Bowl. The Cowboys have offered Dak 15 and 17. Therefore, if you believe that, they will not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry and Steven, do you believe you will not win the Super Bowl with Dak? No, we don't believe that. Then your numbers are bullshit.
Exactly.
But go back to Steve Young. Wait a minute, one more thing. So Steve Young gets 13%. What if they would have paid him 14%? Would they have lost the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
That's absolutely ridiculous. The ball. This is why. And I'm not an enemy of analytics. I believe in analytics. I'm not an enemy of scouting. I believe in scouting. But I'll laugh my ass off forever at Jimmy Johnson because he would tell us he didn't believe in luck. And I felt like taking the ball with 2 points and saying, Jimmy, do you not see these points? These points on the ball are the luck. That's the luck of football. How do you not see it? that I could be bending over to scoop up a fumble that I'm going to score a touchdown on and win the Super Bowl, and then the point of the ball will make it bounce sideways.
Yeah, and that's luck. You don't know which would a gust of wind. You know what I'm saying? A gust of wind.
Right. So therefore, don't give me 13%. Give me a rounder ball if you're trying to guarantee something.
And even then, you're still going to take some luck. You know, it's going to take.
Of course.
I mean, and then my thing is this, right? Because you have one thing I love about Fish is you are an insider for both the Mavericks and you are an insider for both, you know, the Cowboys. So it's like you have like an insight on how both owners run their organization. And I feel like Jerry Jones runs his organization one way and, you know, Cuban runs his organization a certain way. I feel like in 2020, like the Cuban approach is more, you know, because you're starting to see the Mavericks attract, you know, the free agents and things like that, where the Dallas Cowboys, not necessarily that allure, because like you did say, you know, Gerald McCoy, you know, did come to Cowboys, you know, for less money. But what I'm really trying to say is, like, from everything you've seen from other owners and how they treat their star players when they're going through contract, is this normal, you know, the way the Cowboys treat their players? Because, you know, we brought the example of Zach Martin, you know, Dez Bryant, you know, he was another guy that had to hold him out. You know, they put him through the ringer. Zeke, exact same situation. Dak Prescott. And I see other organizations that don't do that to their great players. So, I mean, I just want to know, a guy that's seen, you know, sees it from both sides, from Cuban and Jerry, like, you know, what are your thoughts on how Jerry, you know, how he does these contracts?
Oh, I think in the end, players want to play for Jerry Jones. And that includes Zeke Elliott, and that includes Tank Lawrence and Dez Bryant and Dak Prescott. And those are the last four guys who had franchise tags. You want to play for Jerry. He's grandfatherly. You think of him as your grandfather. And I obviously, as you guys know, I'm biased towards Jerry Jones, but I think I'm right in being biased towards Jerry Jones. I want to play for him. Cuban is viewed as the best owner in the NBA by many players for some of the same reasons. He's trying to give you ways to win, and go to this stadium at AT&T Stadium, go to the Star, go to the hotels, go to training camp, and you can see that the Joneses are trying to give you ways to win too.
Yeah, West Coast did some research and figured out that you was actually with the Dallas Cowboys for 30 years, and you've been through 8 different coaches. And he actually 9. I'm sorry,
to be exact,
9 different coaches. And I was listening to Stephen Jones, and I wanted to get your perspective on something, because he said something that made me think of you. He said that when McCarthy walked in the building, that he reminded him of Bill Parcells from the standpoint that he feels as if he's learning again. And that was Stephen's younger years, where he was still, I would call, being groomed by Jerry to become the man that he is now. What would be your feeling on Mike McCarthy and the difference of him coming in compared to all the other 9? 9 is right, West Coast, right? The other 9 that you witnessed in the building. What is the spirit of the building, I would ask you?
Well, we got a chance before COVID-19. I guess there was probably about 12 of us, media people, that got to go meet Mike McCarthy and go have a beer with him. And he's not buttoned up. And that's the biggest change. And Jason Garrett, I've been friends with Jason Garrett for 25 years. I like Jason Garrett. But Jason Garrett was always on guard. And he was always buttoned up. And he always was making sure that he didn't say something wrong that would get into the New York Post and then motivate the Giants. And I get that. I do. But it kept people from knowing and liking Jason Garrett. I mean, it kept you guys from liking him.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
I didn't know he cussed so much until I saw that show.
and I'm telling you, he cussed all the time. He cusses just like you do.
Well, I didn't know.
I have on this show. His dad was like a saint, his late father, but his dad cussed all the time. but so I found it refreshing that McCarthy would just have a beer with you and talk about growing up in Pittsburgh and being a little bit more loose. So I don't know about the comparison to Bill Parcells seems ridiculous to me, but I'm impressed that Mike McCarthy was able to willing to let his hair down with the media a little bit. That's good. One of the big tests for me is going to be, he claims that in 1 year he turned from being anti-analytics to pro-analytics. I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I don't think that's how this works. I think he said that in the McCarthy project because it was the smart thing to say. And he made basically, it's almost like The Last Dance. He made a movie about himself to make himself look good. And I hope he's as good as he was in the movie because he was awfully good.
Yeah, and I mean, Fish, I have this thing we call ourselves the Scouts, and as serious Cowboy fans out to uncover truth. And why is because we say because Jerry be lying, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, there was a situation, man, where Mike McCarthy, I made a video about this, and he kind of made me look bad, man, because he said, when I come in there, I'm gonna be calm, I want to be in control. I made the last mistake in the last place, I wasn't really, I delegated too much. I delegated. And Fish, the first thing he did when he became the coach of the Dallas Cowboys is he delegated. And I feel like he was the only person that pointed it out. And for some reason, them tweets don't get as much recognition as the Dez ones and the other ones. We gotta work on that, Fish. But I saw that tweet. I want to know, like, what was that about? And do you have any insight on who's really gonna be calling plays this year? Because I think that's weird.
He says Kellen Moore is going to call the plays.
Yep.
And I say Kellen Moore is going to call Mike McCarthy's plays.
And
so Mike McCarthy is not going to take his hand completely off the steering wheel.
Oh.
So on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to put in Mike McCarthy's game plan, and then Kellen Moore is going to call it on Sunday. That's what I believe. And by the way, that's fine. But the best play caller, the best offensive coordinator in this building is Mike McCarthy. And so if I'm paying him $5 million a year, he better damn sure be coordinating.
Yeah, because I mean, that's a point. That's like something that and I told myself when I got on here, I said, because man, this is a once in a lifetime time. So you don't want to focus too much on the past, but but I gotta kind of ask you this question about Jason Garrett. Why, Fish, at any point did he just take over? I want to know, because the same thing you're saying with McCarthy, I feel like McCarthy's already saying, I'm not going to take my fingers off this. You know what I'm saying? If why at some point do you feel, why did Jason just keep on coming to press conference after press conference and getting punched in the face, knowing he wasn't calling plays?
Yeah. Well, you got two different things there. He came to the press conference and got punched in the face because it's mandated by the league. Now remember, at the end of the Scott Linehan thing here, he did take over in the last month of Scott Linehan's last year, and then Scott Linehan was gone the next year. But I was surprised. I mean, listen, if I was Garrett, I would have named myself offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Fact.
Period.
Yes.
Fact.
I would have named Kellen Moore, assistant offensive coordinator, and I would have gone down. If the ship's going down, I want it with my hands on the wheel.
Absolutely.
So, but remember too that Garrett is and this is an attribute. This isn't a bad, because he's not a puppet, but he is a loyalist. And if that's not what the Jones family wanted, then that's not what we did. He is not a puppet. He had a lot of power in this building. Their personnel decisions. He was right there with Will McClay, side by side. He's not a puppet, but he is a loyalist, and maybe that explains why he did what was best for the company.
I mean, and that's. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah, Fish, I just wanted to go. This is going to be a major right turn. I wanted to talk about linebacker, and then I don't have no more real questions. But James Slater came out, and Leighton Vander Esch was basically saying that he's fully recovered. And I'm nervous about it, Fish, because I think the neck is something that is hard for you to self-diagnose, right? I had shoulder surgery, right? I could tell when my range was coming back, right? Because I could move my shoulder all the way back. I had a hamstring problem. I could tell when my hamstring was back because I was able to fully sprint. And so you can test everything, but how do you test the neck without having impact? So I'm nervous about linebacker altogether. I want to see if you could talk me off the ledge.
All right, I will do so by just saying this. And yeah, Jane and Bobby Bell did a great job on that interview with Vander Esch. Why would he lie?
Not saying that he's lying. I'm saying that it is, how do you know, right? So like I can feel good until I hit something, right? Because like that's what I'm saying is not saying he's lying. He might feel great, but can you really do an x-ray on yourself and know if your neck can, because necks is, it's too many stories of necks leading to early retirement. And I'm not trying to say he's not ready.
I don't disagree with it.
Should we also upgrade insurance?
Go ahead, Fish.
I think I think they put him through the tests that allow him to feel confident. But I agree with you. I mean, my view is I look forward to seeing him whenever we see him, to watch him pass the test.
Okay.
So I thought his interview with Jane and Bobby, I think that should give you some confidence.
Yeah.
He could have said, "Hey, we're progressing." He could have said, "We're making progress," which is a way different answer from "I'm raring to go," which is what he said. So, if you were him and I asked you, "How's it going?" and it wasn't going well, you might say, "We're making progress." But I can't see why you would say, if it's not going well, why you would say, "Oh yeah, I'm awesome."
Exactly.
Right.
It gives me a little bit of faith that we're on the right track there.
Okay, one more thing then, because Ronald Reagan said this is famous by Ronald Reagan. Trust, but what? Verify, right? With his neck, would you think that we maybe should look at Malcolm Smith or maybe even who was
Clay Matthews.
Yeah, Clay Matthews, and not saying that he's not ready,
A free agent,
but just in case something happens, because Guilford to me was looking to be a little bit injury prone. It's too early to say that, but you can kind of start saying that. We know Sean Lee has had experienced a lot of injuries throughout his career, so we know that. So we have like 3 linebackers to me with question marks. To me, that's the major concern of the defense, and I'm trying to find somebody that can talk me off of being afraid to at least look at insurance.
All right, Joe Thomas can play.
Yeah, and we re-signed him, and we re-signed Joe Thomas and March. Before we let you out of here, and we re-signed. Before I let you out of here, Fitch, man, I want to go through two names real quick that I heard today on. One I heard on Thursday, and the other one I heard just been hearing. One was a surprise, and it was Nate Newton said that Connor Williams had actually thrown his hat in the names of possibility of playing some center for the Dallas Cowboys in 2020. Yeah. And I just want to know, what are your thoughts on, could you give us a little clarification on it? Because Nate wasn't even, he was just kind of just like dropped it and just kind of moved on, didn't clarify or anything. And I was very surprised to hear that. Yeah, we've written, in fact, I did something today on it we have a YouTube, Fish Sports YouTube channel, Mike Fisher, DFW. The Cowboys have 5 centers. Wow. Looney, the rookie.
Yep, Tyler.
McGovern, if he doesn't win the left guard job. Connor Williams, if he doesn't win the left guard job. And Adam Redmond. Is that 5? Yeah. Now, the old quarterback thing, if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, that means you don't have any. Yeah, if you have any. But yeah, we've and Nate's right. We've written about that maybe somebody who loses the left guard job will go try to play center. And I've got people in the scouting department who think that Connor Williams is a natural center. But Joe Looney is a natural center, not a guard. And the rookie is a natural center, not a guard. And Connor Williams is big and long. And so I think they're going to get to camp or get to OTAs or whatever. And they've got 5 guys vying for 2 jobs at center and left guard. And Connor Williams has promised nothing. You know, Brian Broaddus, I know you guys listen to the Fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Broaddus used this term sponsors. Have you heard him talk about he doesn't have a sponsor? You heard that?
Yes, sir.
And he said it right before Cooper Rush got cut. The problem is Cooper Rush doesn't have a sponsor, meaning the people in charge of quarterbacks now, Mike McCarthy, that's not his guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does Connor Williams have a sponsor?
It has somebody to vouch for him.
Right?
Yeah. Somebody to beat the table.
I've been with him through and through. We got a new offensive line coach. We got a new offensive coordinator. We got a new head coach. So no, Connor Williams doesn't have a sponsor. So it's entirely possible that this coaching staff is going to say, my guy is the rookie center, right? And away we go with the rookie center of these 5 centers, almost jumping up all the way to the top.
Shoot, Fish. My last question before we let you up out of here. I'm in California, so we don't get too many updates on, things of this nature. But I want to know, because my opinion of Cheeto, do I think Cheeto was the best corner on this team? No, but I also think if you throw him in the safeties, we have about 5 safeties right now for 2 positions, and him being in a contract year. It kind of seems like, from what I'm hearing down there, are the Cowboys really going to do that? Do you think the Cowboys are going to do this? And if they do that, what are your thoughts on Cheeto moving to safety?
The last 2 off seasons, we asked him about it, and he goes, nickel, corner, safety, whatever they want. I can do it. And so that's a good attitude. That's cool. Daryl Worley, we did ask him at Sports Illustrated, and he said, no, they haven't told me anything about safety. So he thinks he's a cornerback. So that starts to hint to the idea that Cheeto could play there. But that would, who's the pivotal guy is Diggs.
Can he play?
If Diggs can he, not only can he play, what if he's your best cornerback? What if he's your best defensive back? If Diggs comes in here and starts owning the thing, then Cheeto, it'll help Cheeto get on the field to go play some safety. So I think it starts with Trayvon Diggs and how soon does he start dictating what Dallas does in the secondary?
Yeah,
and Fish,
like they're going to have 2 different safeties. We're going to have 2 brand new safeties in 2020. In 2020, I feel like you're going to have 2 brand new, because Heath is already gone. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's going to take a mile and a competitive for Xavier Woods to keep that position. So I feel like you're going to have 2 brand new safeties. Go ahead, boss.
They think Xavier Woods is on the verge of stardom. They think he's close, and I hope they're right.
2 years though.
No.
I hate seeing Xavier Woods. Those articles that they say these guys might have a breakout season. He's been on the cover of that article for 3 years now.
Literally.
You should not be on like my boy out here who keeps on winning the 6th man of the year. They're like I forget Lou Williams. They're like, Lou, how do you feel about winning the 6th year in of the year for the 5th year? He's like,
oh man,
cool the first time, but
I just kind of lost all my optimism when he missed 6 tackles versus the Chicago Bears. That took the
I know.
woulda couldas out of me. I'm sorry. I want to see it. Obviously, I want to see it, because if he raises to that level, then we have a better team. But at this point,
yeah, it just feels like.
All right.
Well, I appreciate Fish. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for your expertise, and more importantly, sir, I appreciate you for your time, man. I remember that I was at training camp, and I see you in the tent, and I was like, man, I gotta grab this opportunity, and you gave it then. And I appreciate you, sir, for allowing us for coming on our podcast today, man, and giving us your knowledge. And I hope to see you again, please, with the exclusive.
You guys do a professional. You guys do a professional job, which I appreciate. The fact that you listen to 105.3 The Fan means the world to me. And listen, what we do at CowboysSI.com, there's nothing quite like it. So the fact that you guys are part of all those families, that means a lot to me.
I appreciate you, sir.
And Fisher, before you go,
Hi, fellas.
no, don't leave.
You go.
I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay, real quick. You have a local bar in Dallas. West Coast told me about that. I didn't even know about it, so I wanted to hear about it. I wanted to come drink a beer with you. But also we want to kind of know how we can support you, support your business, just real quick. And you didn't come over here for a plug, but we just wanted to, talk about that.
But we are trying to do some shows there when we come to Dallas. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to say that out loud.
No, it's all set up. It's called the Maverick Bar. It's at 1616 Hebron. It's 11 minutes away from the Star in Frisco, and it is a riot. Just me and a couple buddies. It's every boy's dream to own his own bar. So, like, some guys have a man cave. I'm like, why don't we just have a bar?
No.
So, the Maverick Bar in Carrollton, right down the street from the Star, 1616 Hebron. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely.
You will.
I appreciate you. Man, man, last question. I promise you. Are they coming to LA for training camp, Oxnard? Are you coming? That's what I need to know. Because if you're coming, that means they're coming. So I can kind of get the same answer. Do you think they're coming?
It keeps getting left out of them. Like, are we going to have fans? Are we going to have games? Nobody will tell us if we're going to have media. Screw the fans. I want media.
Hold on, Fisher.
No, not really.
I'm just trying to see you with your big hat on, because Fish, you be having your little hat on out there at training camp. Hey, Fish is a totally different. You be looking like Nicky Spagnolia when that heat hit you, Fish. I ain't gonna lie, you be looking like Nicky. You be having that scar all on you.
Oh man, this is great.
I don't know about that. He's a good-looking little guy. I don't think I look like Nicky.
I appreciate you. All right, Fish. Well, I appreciate you, sir, and I look forward to getting you back.
Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, man.
Man, golly, that was
lit, man. That was lit, man.
I mean, I was excited, but goodness gracious, man, I'm gonna have to actually listen to this whole show again. It was too many nuggets unloaded.
Man, Fish went in, man.
Yeah, it was quite honest, and I love how he spoke on. And I'm glad we have somebody that said, I'm trying to talk Steven. Not saying that Steven is not smart, but at least you have somebody that's saying, okay, that the what you said in the public on the analytics is something that can, work for you and against you. And it's good to know that they have a good relationship, to where they can go back and forth like that, and just be honest with each other, because we talk a lot obviously off the show, and part of what we say is you want to be that guy that can tell your friend when you need gum, but do it in a respectful way and do it in a way to where that person keeps the dignity. And it sounds like Fish is that to Steven and Jerry, and we need that, because it's things that we want to say that we can't say that he can say because he has the relationship. So that was one of the nuggets I got out of it. It's just so many though. I
think one of the biggest things I got out of this, honestly, is the fact that once again, I came on here and I wanted to feel like my mind was going to be blown away and changed. And I felt like
it wasn't, because at the end of the day, I feel good about where I am with following these Cowboys. Right.
And I appreciate
analysis.
Yeah.
Your analysis wasn't far right.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the things that we're telling you guys, a lot of things that you guys are telling, I mean, my I ain't calling my boy, but OG Fish came on here and solidified a lot of the same things that we already talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that Fisher, someone who's around the Dallas Cowboys, because I used to live in Las Vegas, and I remember I bought a brand new house when I was fresh out the military, man. And I didn't realize until a month later why I got the house, this brand new house, for hella cheap. You want to know why? Because it was on a freaking pig farm. But you know what they said? After a year, you stop smelling the stench. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just goes away. But every time I brought somebody else over to the house, they smelt it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Fish has been up under the Cowboys for 30 years, and he still can smell. Nah, just Steven, that didn't make no sense, bruh. Like, I'm sorry, Steve. Yeah, that didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
I believe, I salute, I understand where you guys are going, but for you to come out here on national TV and say that, the math says that, well, Steven, you're already past that number. Like, you've already offered him more than any quarterback has ever been offered for a Dallas Cowboy. So how can you then say that going up $2 more million is going to break it? Like, that's what Fish was basically saying, that, like, if you just use some of this common sense, a lot of that stuff don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Fish came on here and he felt so comfortable, man. He forgot, some start. I love it, man. I love it when Fish get real comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he felt. He felt comfortable when he came over here. Shout out to CEV, the sponsor. Shout out to Black Royalties, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the comment box. Appreciate my boy Shane Winston, Abel for sharing it on his, Travis for sharing it. Shout out to everybody who hit that. Let me see who hit that stars, man. I appreciate you guys, man. This was just a phenomenal interview, man. I want to make sure.
One more thing, just real quick.
Go ahead.
He might have changed my mind on something, man.
On what?
When he said that these guys really want to play for Jerry.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
While respected, because he said I'm biased, but I think I'm right.
Yeah, Fish knew what the hell he was talking about.
Yeah, and I'm saying it from a standpoint that where he, to me, was even checking his own motives in that.
Appreciate you, Mr.
In his judgment of that situation, right?
Appreciate you.
He admitted it, and the same thing I have to do with the University of Houston. When I'm grading players from the University of Houston, I have to admit that I'm biased. I have to, and I think it could affect my judgment. Go ahead,
boss, it's like this, bro. It's like coaching your own kids, man. Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
It's like coaching your own kids. You know what I'm saying? And I go ahead.
Hey, that part was kind of like I started thinking like, shout out to Clear Our View. That's why I'm rocking the Lokes right now. But anyway,
CEV, God wears them.
I start thinking about how Dez went through hell with his contract, but then even after all of this drama, what was he doing when he saw Jerry at the Earl Spence fight, hugging his neck, grabbing him, right? Like they never went through drama before, right? And like that whole fight over money wasn't ugly, So he kind of broke it down to like a child level from this standpoint. At the end of the day, it's still some of these guys' dream to play for this star, even though at times it might get ugly when you're trying to get paid. He might. I'm a sleep on.
The only question I would have said is like, what happens to an Amari Cooper who clearly told you he grew up a Miami Dolphins fan, bruh?
Yeah, different. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I liked it though. You know what it like. You know what he really told you. Man, Cowboys is America's team. Shut up.
That's what he said. Yeah, like if you like this team, if you like Dak, who grew up on this team. He's basically saying Dak is not going to take this personal. As soon as he signs, he's going to be good.
Yeah. And he basically, he said the Cowboys need to use it more. Like the Cowboys need to realize that and use it more. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you guys, like, I love it. I love when people come on the show, and more importantly, they feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? They feel comfortable, because that lets me know that he going to come back on here at some point. Man, I love the little point. Me and Boss Cowboy, we made it our focus to not to dwell on the past. Why? Because his time is so important. You want to focus on that future right now. But I love the tidbit he gave us on Jason Garrett too. I liked that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a guy. I ain't gonna say I was never pulling for Jason Garrett, but I was a guy who had friends in that locker room, and I understood the way he felt. And I loved what he said about Mike McCarthy. He said, "Yeah, Kellen Moore's going to run Mike McCarthy's plays." Like, that's what I believe is going to happen. And I also like the fact that Fish is such a real dude that the same BS that we catch, he caught. Like when Mike McCarthy's like, yeah, with the analytics, Fish is like, yeah, I don't believe he believes that, but I'm pretty sure he said it on video to make it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure he did that. So guess what that lets me know? That lets me know that Mike McCarthy is down to play the game too. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever been watching a movie and the guy that's been trying to help you get out the whole time is the goddamn bad guy? I'm not saying he's the bad guy, but just know that Mike McCarthy is definitely playing for the home team. Can I get an amen on that, boss? Like, he's definitely playing for the home team. You know what I'm saying? So this whole time I've been wondering, like, I wonder what Mike thinks about all this drama and this or that. Man, Mike McCarthy, and he's well-versed. And guess what? Who knows to say if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing, because you got to let it play out. And I loved what he said about Leighton Vander Esch. I love the fact that he wouldn't doubt a player, because I wouldn't doubt a player either. If a player says he's healthy, why would I doubt it? You know what I'm saying? I want you to be healthy too. But like he said,
verify though.
But exactly, that's exactly what he said. He said, but I can't wait to go to training camp so I can see it. Exactly. So I can see what you said. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I'm not going to put it in the media that I don't believe you're healthy. No, because I want you to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? But I will go to camp and verify. I will be that guy. Like, wait,
Thomas is a good linebacker, and it's like I'm concerned with 3, and I don't think I was clear
Fish
about
knew
that.
What was up though? He just didn't want to. Fish knew it. He just politely, professionally was like, you know how I'm not saying he was wishing for the best, but he's hoping that, hey, you said you're fine.
Yeah, because they got to go in those locker rooms. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I understand from meeting players. I get it. Like, when you meet players, you don't want to be on the record even seeming as if you're doubting them, because then that's your lead source and that's your story source. So people got to understand that the more you get around players, the more you have to be very careful in what you say. Yep. It's not even being shady or not truthful. It's being wise.
It's being real.
It's being wise in your relationship so that you can continue to get the inside story, right?
The Anthony Brown. Remember the Anthony Brown situation?
Oh yeah, I felt real weird.
My boy, Boss Cowboy makes a video on Tuesday, and it goes over the 13 touchdowns that Anthony Brown 16 touchdowns he's given up in his career. Great video, got a lot of views. Well, that Saturday, here come West Coast coming into town, and I'm like, Boss Cowboy, what's up, man? Hey, man, I got Anthony Brown with me right now. He about to come.
No, it didn't even happen like that. This how it happened. He was like, hey, Boss, you gonna be able to come out to Cowboy Experience? Blah, 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 blah,
Cowboy packages, Cowboy packages, Cowboy packages, Cowboy packages, Cowboy packages.
My fault. So Cowboy packages. I was like, yeah, I come out, right? Brought my boys, right? So I'm out there with my 2 little boys, and we sitting there talking. He like, hey, man, Jalen coming in. Oh, Boss, I forgot to tell you.
I honestly did forget to tell him.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony Brown gonna be here. You cool with that? I was like,
you cool with that, bro?
I was like, weird, because I just posted the video lobbying for Jalen's, not
Jordan Lewis. We were
Jordan Lewis. And I still, like Fish said, I believe
off
it
at that time too. You were very pissed off.
Yeah, I was pissed because I was like, it's taking too long for this man to get on the field. But at the same time, it's a little bit different when they sitting right there in your face, right? And it's not that you're not afraid, but it's like you can, it's like if he saw the video, it's gonna be tense because I made a real lobby and a hard lobby for Jordan Lewis, and I still mean it. But at the same time, I can also see why.
Yeah, you
would be very careful on what you say. So, and I watched this. Yeah. I watched the same trait with I watched this. I watched James Slater do it. Bobby Belt do it. Like they would say it like this.
That's why we don't use.
She said James Slater said some would say Tank was overpaid. Some would say Zeke she made sure she didn't say it.
Exactly.
She just said what the rumors. So like, listen, we telling you how it really is, how it really is. So some people telling you how they want it to be, but then it's how it really is. So we get more and more on the inside. So the more and more we get on the inside, the more and more we can actually read these tea leaves on why Mike could sit back like, you might be right, but I'm not going to really go deep in there with you right now.
Exactly.
I got to confirm it first.
Especially something on an opinion, especially something on an injury, because it's 100% your opinion. And you're basically saying, do you trust him? And basically what he said is, No, LV, I don't believe you're lying to me. That's what he said. That's
but
what
I got to confirm it.
But
He
exactly.
definitely
But not
he
even
felt
that-
the Ronald Reagan. Like when I
Yeah.
said Ronald Reagan said trust but verify.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
like, yeah, today, absolutely. I believe the words that are coming
Right.
out of your mouth because you've never lied to me before.
Right.
But I will eagerly be at training camp to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of fans, we don't hold the Cowboys to those, we don't like for a small example of like why we have 2 kickers. Like a lot of you guys don't forget that we had a kicker that missed 11 out of 15 kicks.
Oh my
That's why
goodness.
we have 2 kickers right now. Because
Right.
we don't want that to happen. Like
Right.
it mind and blew me away that people just, why do we have 2 kickers? I don't get it. We just signed what makes no sense. Like, what are y'all talking about? Do you remember the Saints game? Do you remember the Jets game? Do you remember Washington? Do you remember Chicago? Like, do you remember them kicks he missed? Like, bruh, that's why we need to have 5 kickers and just kick they deaf. Whoever misses it, get their leg cut off. That's how desperate I am for a kicker.
Yeah, that's amazing. That
man,
was truly amazing. But yeah,
hey, man, tonight was a hell of a night. Tomorrow we got an even banging show. We got Jesse Holly coming on tomorrow, man. Jesse Holly, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Jesse Holly is a professional talker. I just made that up. A professional talker. Like Jesse Holly is a guy where if you ask the right question, he is going to go off and give it to you like you want it. You know what I'm saying? So tomorrow definitely has the ability to have some very explosive conversations, just like we did with Mike Fish. You know what I'm saying? And you already know what it is, man. Like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Fish came up in here. He was kicking it. Sounded like he was eating a little something. Probably was sipping on a little something. You know what I'm saying? Fish was comfortable.
he sounded like he had a couple of bites a couple
Fish
of
was
times.
comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
No, he had his feet kicked up.
Comfortable, you know what I'm saying? He was comfortable, so I like that. I like it when you can come in the West Coast house, put your feet up. You know what I'm saying? We always down to put your feet up. I'm tell you right now, I ain't gonna get your cup too many times though. After that second time, you family go get your own damn cup. Hey, but Boss Cowboy, man, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports, and I got a lot of content coming out. I'm just getting past these next 2 days. I'm gonna start dropping some stuff.
Booyah.
But it's good stuff. I mean, it's good videos, it's good articles, it's a lot of stuff that's coming. So y'all definitely go to my Twitter page and follow that, and then obviously follow me on Facebook on the Boss Cowboy Sports.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you this, man. For any guest that's coming on here that ever want to come, hey man, you better bring your A game, man, because we ain't holding back, man. Holding back, man.
And next time you come to Dallas, man, let's shoot out to Mike Fisher Bar.
Oh yeah, man. What you talking about? That's about to be the official bar of West Coast Cowboy.
Yeah.
Up in that.
Yeah, we'll go up there and have some drinks and
you heard him when he said, I said, Fish, I'm trying to come do a show there. He said it's already set up. I mean, he's a blogger. Like that's what he technically does for a living. He's just that's what basically is. So it would not be surprising to me if Mike Fisher's bar is not cracking. And this is what we gonna do. Y'all already know I'm coming there week 1.
He said it's cracking. I can't wait to
show up.
See
like we really about to just like it's about to be, that's all I'm gonna say. When somebody hit you with the bebop, they it's gonna be like that. You know what I'm
what
saying?
you say to bebop?
Like for real, man. Like Mike Fish just think we just some old dudes on the internet, man. We show up in there with about 100 deep. Fish gonna be like, oh, yeah,
he actually gave us a really good compliment. He said that we were very professional. I appreciated that.
Hey, yeah, tonight was a good night. But hey, y'all, when we come, I'm telling y'all right now, when you go to Dallas and you are in Frisco, you need to go to Mike Fisher's bar and you need to let them know that Boss Cowboy and West Coast sent you. You know what I'm saying? 100. Because I'm gonna tell you guys, if you guys did not share our content, if you guys did not put our content in here, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This right now does not happen. The reason why it does not happen is because we are not a platform that he feels worth or has enough worth to come on. But it's because of you guys are sharing and your investments in the show that made him understand that I gotta get on here and let these guys understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what he does. He goes to the source, he grabs the source, and he reports back. And you know what he did? Because of you guys, he felt that it was uberly important to hop on here after we had technical difficulties and give us an hour of his time to ensure that you guys have what you guys need. And that's because of your support. So I just want to personally thank you guys, man. Hey, that's dope, man. Understand that you're a part of something, that you're building something, man. Make sure you understand that. Go to sleep with your pillow on the cool side. But you already know what it is, man. It's CEV to the death of me. Shout out to Black Royalties. Shout out to all the supporters in the chat group. Shout out to producer G, the baddest producer in the game, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, it's a lot of dudes out there that's doing what G doing. And guess what? He did that yesterday. He already on to something new. Shout out to everybody out there that's copying, man. We appreciate you because that just keep us in the media, man. We appreciate you. And more importantly, man, shout out to you real goddamn Cowboy fans, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all some real Cowboy fans. We almost through. We made it through. We almost there, boss. We almost there. Y'all thought it wouldn't go in, but we almost there. Y'all already know what it is. Never look down because the star is up. Peace.